morning, good afternoon, and good evening to my fellow chingus. Welcome back to another episode of Chimaek Hangout with episode 27, where we discover and discuss on fresh K-pop goodness from music to news and sometimes the culture of Korea. This show is recorded on the 19th of November 2020, basically midnight of it. Wow, here we go again. You're with me, Zaito, for this midnight podcast recording. Hopefully guys are enjoying this. If you are listening in the morning, in the afternoon, in the night, or basically a night time, or should I say a midnight time enjoyment with a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, or basically while you are enjoying something else like a game. Hopefully you are listening to this with some open mind for today. Why I say open mind? Well, let's just say I have a big list of sizzling musics for you guys, which we'll get into a bit more. Before I forget, do check out Chimaek Hangout on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and possible your other favorite platform as well. For sizzling music, what do we have for today? Firstly will be CL 5-star, which I really want to do a short review for, so I add this in. Followed by Natty, Teddy Bear. Thirdly, STAYC, So Bad. Followed by AKMU Musician, Happening. Next, MOMOLAND's Radionaut. And lastly, aespa, Black Mamba. This is a very big list like last week. I can't avoid this where there are quite a lot of songs to play with for this week. Followed, we have weekly hot news and topic. And we have 4 news for this time. And I will say that it is quite big and quite small news among of it. Firstly, we have Loren Who. If you remember who Loren is. If you do not remember, check out our episode where we actually feature Blackpink's Lovesick Girls, where I discuss, I review, I give my opinion on it. And Loren was actually in it as a hint for you guys. Secondly, we have Mamamoo 2020 lineup update. Thirdly, Idol in a car accident. Who is this? Lastly, fire criticism on an idol. Well, who we have here? We will see who these 2 topics are about in a while more in part 2. And lastly, not to forget, we have our recommended variety, which is a drama this time. And this drama, well, all I can say is look forward to what I have to say on it. Alright, so without further ado, let's move on into our sizzling music with CL. Debuted on 2019 under YG Entertainment as the girl group 21. Next debuted on 2015 officially as a solo with her single Hello Bitches. And not to forget, as of last year, she's a free agent artist after leaving YG. So this, before I go into this song, just an update that she is going to delay her new album to next year due to some extra approach and maybe chances to make more music. So she have already discussed with her team to release it next year. Alright, moving into another song, 5-star. What we have here. So to put it in a simple words, this is a song that sang purely about love. By going through a roller coaster of emotions in a romantic relationship with her partner in the MV that is, which was actually played by DPR Ian, also known as a singer, producer, director, and chief editor in Dream Perfect Regime. So that's what it stands for, DPR. And also a former member of C-Clown Member, which is a K-pop boy group. Alright, you are here to know what the hell this song is about. This song I'll give in simple, my type of words. I'll call it a mellow electronic ballad. That's the best way I can describe this song. The song gives CL's voice a nice coating like a warm clothing with the bass guitar, drum, and a tuned electric piano. And not to forget the guitar as well, besides the bass guitar. which sounds so well. I love it so much. However, I was looking forward to some centerpiece for the song. Instead, what I get for this song is actually a loop cycle song, which could be done with, well, I can see a featuring of some other singer with good vocals. But what I can say for now is beggars can't choose, since the song is good enough to listen to as it is. While the lyrics, the lyrics itself, when I think of lyrics, I think of I can't stop thinking about you. The lyrics that sounds this way, 5-star every time that you come through. The song was sang as the pair goes on a road trip and has a fun time on parties. In the MV, that is, scene of CL silhouette performing in front of a red lit background are scattered throughout the MV with glimpses of the beautiful scenery and a playful love story. Actually, this is one of the points where the lyrics is actually coming in, with every bits of up and down of the relationship. Although the MV seems fun, but it portrays the lyrics, especially the part where I say earlier, I can't stop thinking about you. 5-star every time that you come through. That is what it means by a relationship of up and down. So, short review as this, I will still base on our standard lyrics, music, and music video. So for this, I am able to give it an 8 out of 10. I won't say how I calculate, I'll just say where the 2 points have gone to. Firstly, I was hoping for the song to have a centerpiece, which is why I take out 1 point. Secondly, the MV itself, it does portray a lot of the lyrics, but it doesn't really bring out the color of the song. Basically, if I need to put in much more better words, I would say that the song itself and the MV seems like two individuals that was actually forced together. It doesn't blend in as how I think it is. So with that, another point is taken out. That's why you get 8 out of 10, which is still good enough for a B-side track. To be honest, this is a B-side track. So with that, we will move on to our next solo, which is Natty. Debuted on 2020 under Swing Entertainment. We have discussed about her during her debut, where this podcast just pretty much started few months back during our episode 2, which I do say it was very underrated. For me as well, it was so underrated that the song, for me, I think it is underwhelming. So in a way, underwhelming, underrated. It wasn't a very big debut with her chances that she have, with her achievement that she have already made before her debut. So yeah, add to that, due to that as well, no music show win for her debut song 19. But she may possibly be in the lineup for Mama 2020 with her nomination for few awards. So we will see. With her comeback here, she may possibly be in the lineup for that. For now, it is still unsure. It's just that I see there's a few nominations. Alright, with that, let's move on into our new song, Teddy Bear. I do say that her skill as a dancer and a vocalist position are well for upbeat pop music, and I'm glad to say Teddy Bear is how I hear she's continuing that approach very well. From the title alone, you do expect the track to be something pretty lightweight, and the quality is both its charm and shortcoming actually. Why do I say that? The song relates to being a person someone could rely and open to, like a cold-hearted person being melted due to you. Something like that along the lines. Although I say that it is a shortcoming, to be honest, it is hard to hate this song. With the cute theme MV of a cold-hearted teddy bear being shot down just to open up its heart to Natty. That's how I would describe the whole MV. It is a cold-hearted teddy bear who is becoming a real-life teddy bear and trying to mess around Natty's room, which Natty tried to melt him away, turn into a loving teddy bear. Those are the words. With that, the MV comes to track. The track unveils a solid groove right from the start and rarely lets up. Its instrumental, it's so organic appeal that many tracks of this genre and comes across are rather timeless. Her light vocal is also very appealing in this song. And not to forget, her performance embraced the rhythm, complement the production of the MV without ever stealing too much attention for herself. That's one of the points that I would like to point out. Natty's skill as a dancer, as a performer, is so well that I can actually admit that. This adds up to create a very solid, somewhat forgetful pop song. That is why this is a shortcoming. It is kind of easy to forget about this song. If you do not listen to it, if you are not loving it, that's what happened. But the chorus could use more meat on its bone, if you know what it means. If you do not know, let me just give you a simple explanation. It is as simple as it feels like it made up of a series of ad-libs rather than a fleshed out refrain. It means it does not have a very nice structure to it, as in the body structure. It has its structure as a bone, okay, I give an example. As a human being, you have your skeleton, which is good. Next, you need something to protect it, something to enforce it, which is the meat. So without that, you could not do much. Same goes for this song. As I said, the approach leaves a very big hole in the core of the song itself. So due to that, it's kind of hard to actually balance out a lot. Overall, I do say it is enjoyable, but hardly what I can actually listen to or attract to listen to a lot. At the end, I just say this: if you're looking for a bright, playful track to play in the background, Teddy Bear have you covered. Your head will be nodding, your toes will be tapping for the enjoyment of this song, especially with the current situation around the world. You may even catch yourself just basically humming the song if you're enjoying it at least. But I do say once more, I doubt whether Teddy Bear melodies will remain in the long run, because as I mentioned, it can be forgetful. Similar for me, I did not even listen to this song after actually listening to it for this podcast. As much as that. Overall, I do give a rating of 7.5 out of 10 for this song because it's a nice production, the MV is good, the lyrics is just a very charming fairy tale storyline, a short com I should say, which is good enough. But as I mentioned on the shortcoming a while ago, 7.5 is the rating I will give to it. Alright, moving on to the next group, which is quite a new debut group and is quite big. Who we are talking about? We are talking about STAYC, Star to a Young Culture, which officially debuted on 12th of November 2020 under High Up Entertainment. Alright, before we go into the songs, what we have regarding to this group and why do I say this group is so big? Here's why. The main thing is this group has become the highest selling girl group debut of the year. If you haven't heard of STAYC with their new debut song So Bad, do give it a listen because this rookie girl group debuted on Bug Real Time Top 20 as well as Genie Real Time chart as well, which is a very big thing to happen. Why so? High Up Entertainment, who actually is in this entertainment, is basically the production duo Black Eyed Peas, which has already produced so many songs, especially for Twice. You know how many successful songs from them to Twice? We have Likey, Cheer Up, Fancy. You tell me which one you do not like to listen, let me know. I really want to know. Leave it in the comments if you have. If you do not like any song, we'll go to Aping, I'm So Sick, Dandaram. Those are some of the songs. And not to forget, we have Chongho, Roller Coaster and Got to Go. These are the songs that are produced by these renowned producers. With the debut of STAYC with So Bad, you tell me, is it bad? I don't think so. And not to forget, we have famous members in the group where they have appeared in dramas, on formerly known as a idol trainee under famous entertainment companies like JYP. We have Play M Entertainment. And lastly, we do have some of their parents who are famous. Who? You can Google it up. I won't say much regarding to this because you will see. And the most things that attract to me was actually their pre-debut video. It was so good, especially the vocal cover. Wow. It just shows how much good their vocal is. That's as much I will say to all of these. These are some of the things on their talent, visual, adorable personality for the MV itself. This is as much as we can go. To add up, they are actually involved in something of a plagiarism accusation. This even hype up everything up more for their debut. And I can say a debut using this method is a double-edged sword. But for them, I see more of an advantage than a disadvantage. Although the production of the MV actually admit of using it, and they admitted, they said sorry. They have already said they will be more careful on copyright issues and make production more careful, which is a good enough thing to actually state out regarding to this. They are admitting to it and they will take it into consideration to avoid this in the future. For now, STAYC is a good enough group. The MV will talk a little bit more on how it is. I won't take this plagiarism thing into consideration. I'll take it as how it is, on how it is actually done. With that, moving into the song So Bad is a title track of a new genre DBS that combines drum and bass and synthwave. What I mean by synthwave is basically a subcategory of EDM, I could say. In a way, it is like that. The song arrived right as the retro trend is in the full swing, which is a very good way. It offers its own version of sound. The entertainment company is also very confident with the group's vocal. As I mentioned earlier, their vocal is so good. That's the reason that they make a simple MV, which I have no idea how it get into a plagiarism, as I mentioned, with every member having one solo shot and a group shot without much effect and a simple transition edit. That's a point, because simple MV like that can be a double-edged sword. For this, it is a good enough thing to be done. And to move on, their structure isn't particularly melodic, but the girls hit with a plenty of attitude right off the start of the bat. I am particularly drawn to the group diverse of vocal actually, like how I mentioned earlier, the vocals are so good. There are a few lower tone moments within the song which hasn't been all that common within the current generation of girl groups. These variants give the track a jolt, ensure that it doesn't feel too same, it has its own blossom. At the same time, it blossomed the meaning of the song through its lyrics of a young love, a first love, to get the attention and love of your significant other or maybe your crush. So it gives, or should I say, it play around with what this song is. Although this is a debut song to introduce them, it's also a very meaningful way. Wow, the producers are very thoughtful of doing this as well as the productions. Moving into a chorus brings in a shuffling trip hop beat that helps distinguish it from similar retro effects. The effects, the efforts. To add on, the hook has a simple sing-song appeal that fits right within Black Eyed Peas' wheelhouse. To be honest with you, this one we have seen a similar thing happening on a few songs from Twice, from A-Pink as well. There are times that I think that I will brought the pitch down a bit, but this kind of chorus that works its way into your head whether you like it or not, so bad isn't that perfect, but it offers a glimpse of what could become a promising discography. It will be interesting to see if STAYC will continue down this retro path with the future release, and we will see if the producer will be an exclusive one for them to give them the production touch to every song of theirs. This I'm not sure for the last one, since we have Twice, we have A-Pink, so many songs. So with that, this song itself I'll give a 8.5 out of 10. And the reason had been stated earlier, that I wish that they have a few more points in there. This is basically due to the songs. A simple reason due to the songs. Other than that, no more reasons. MV fits in so well. Lyrics, simple. Just the music, I was hoping. I have high hope for this because, well, the pre-debut cover songs, it was just too good. So with that, we'll move on to Akdong Musician. Debut on 2014 under YG Entertainment. So far, they do not have any music show win for their previous song, and as a duo, they still won several awards like Digital Bongsan and Singer-Songwriter Award, to name a few, for the year 2019 and 2020. To clear things up a little bit, and for you guys maybe you have already heard about this, where Akdong Musician Cha Hyun actually have something like a controversy with her sister on Instagram, where he actually unfollow her. This is just something like a drama happening, where the brother actually said that he will unfollow her due to wanting to follow his own style. It means follow the people with his style. That's the reason why he unfollowed her, which the sister actually agree, and nothing much. They are just surprised that this kind of simple thing blew up. They thought that they have a fight or something. I have no idea why this is happening. Well, some people were wondering if this is a normal thing for siblings to follow each other. It was just a simple thing, not an incident. They are just doing their things as siblings, as a human being. That's all. So with that, let's move on to this single. This single this time is for people who were hurt and have fear, with the track that actually describes the empty feeling that follows after a heartbreak. This song can be actually relate to so many people, or should I say a big majority of people who actually feel it after going through a breakup in a relationship. You know, those kind of things that are happening. In this case, the happening is actually memories. The memories of your life, of your togetherness, your couple time, where you actually feel so much. You want it so much. And I do say, it's always good to have outdoor musician back. Their music, well, as how I mentioned earlier for this meaning of this song, it's never disappointing. It's even if it's just hopping between genres, the track feels so good. Although, to be honest, it feels like a B-side than an obvious title. However, B-side track from them is good enough for me. This isn't a very necessarily a bad thing. Plus, the MV shows the happening in a well way to blend with the lyrics. Like a storyline showing the obsession to fill up the empty feeling after the heartbreak. You know what I mean just now? Of the memories of your past, of the memories of your love before the heartbreak. Oh, I'm turning into a poetry for some reason. What the hell? Let's cheer this up a little bit. Alright, let's move on. So, happening unleash a spring tempo while retaining a sense of calm melody. The song divides its verse equally between the duo. So, I should say, the brother's voice is more prominent throughout because of the vocal. These include the chorus, which push forward with her satisfying guitar-driven drive. And speaking about guitar, right? The moment that I love so much in the MV and the song is actually on the climax, where the instrumental gentle strum is just so good with the rock distortion. It sounds so well. I'm having so much fun. Sometimes I should add on that the MV actually attract me that I forgot about this, except the climax, because the MV was actually done in a way that I love so much. But there are cons to it, which I will talk about it in a little bit more. To add on, it brings out some very good vocal to it, which I could say have been capitalized upon further. As it stands, the song itself is oddly harsh in a way, because there are some rough moments in there. It harnesses a great melody, but the track feels like it is missing something. Something is missing that is feel a little bit of rough. If I need to state something for it, I have no idea what to say, but I can state one obvious thing regards to the edit. Seems like it's done in a bit of rush, although it was very good. But if you actually watch it frame by frame, time by time, are not really well made. Seems like they are rushing in at the same time of Alien's release. That's what I actually assume. It wasn't really made well, especially during the transition, where I can see some gaps that are inconsistent, that actually break the flow, where they actually showing the flashback between the past and the present. The flow was break a few times, where I can see that it's a pause in between. It wasn't done very perfectly, so that part I hate so much. MV itself can't be done like that. If you want to do an MV, a simple transition, just make it a quick shot snap. Don't leave any gap. I can see the gaps very obvious, which I don't really like. With that, this song itself is a rating of 8 out of 10. That's as much I will say for this song. That's all. I have already mentioned which part are the cons, and what I hope for it. A rating 8 out of 10 is good enough for this song. I will end part 1 here and we'll go to a short break and move on to part 2. Let's go.
Hello guys, like what you're listening to? Please do follow us on our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram page. Links on the description, and let's move on to part 2.
Welcome back to Chimaek Hangout episode 27 part 2. We will be continuing with our Sizzling music with MOMOLAND, debuted on 2016 under MLG Entertainment. Sadly, there were no music show wins with their previous song Starry Night. However, they won several Bongsan Awards as of last year from several big award show held. And I'd like to say, MOMOLAND, it's been a year since their last full-fledged comeback. The group itself had struggled to rekindle the magic of their boom boom, or should I say BAM era, stuck between recreating that sense of novelty or moving onto a new sound. But they score a real big cope with this new single Ready or Not. The song is produced by STAYC, a man who is pretty much familiar with massive novelty hits himself. But beyond Gundam style, STAYC has composed a lot of great music in various genres. On surface, he seems like the perfect collaborator to bring MOMOLAND to the next stage of their career. And why I say so, I will let you guys know in a little bit more. However, for Ready or Not, in reality, I'm not really sure on how it feels to distinctly STAYC, because it does brings a welcoming injection of pop melody to counter MOMOLAND's sillier instinct. Right from the start, the track bounced forward with a great verse and a bright hookiness to the song. The first verse opens with a simple synth rap before moving into a much more melodic territory, which is good enough. Then it moved into a full throat chorus that sees the girls sing in a union. The vocal arrangement is tight and satisfying, giving the refrain a fullness that feels very classic in delivery. The hook itself is catchy, light, though I don't really know how it will age for this song. Will it be well? Will it be not? I'm not really sure. This being post 2018 MOMOLAND, we can't get through a song without some kind of manic instrumental touch. And Ready or Not, to be honest, the sample lands predictably after each chorus. The track delivers a speed up brace loop that brings a jolt of frantic, free for all energy before things settle down again, and it's like a loop. A loop that thankfully this production flourishes isn't overused. At its core, this song itself is a good old-fashioned bubblish bubblegum pop song. There's nothing wrong with that song at all to be like that. And with STAYC being doing this kind of things, it's good enough actually. But as an overall, I do say the lyrics and MV are pretty much screaming out a re-debut of MOMOLAND as a 6-member group. Especially the MV, which highlight a lot of those points, like the word MOMOLAND, labeling the members' names, as well as a very focused visual on each member, like they are actually rebranding them. So I will rate it an 8 out of 10 for a good job on having fun but not really overwhelming. But it is to a stage I can say it is called a standard line, which is just above the borderline, where it is impressive but yet normal. For this song, it is the MV and the song itself that it actually stand out the most. For the lyrics, I can say nothing much to it, well, because the lyrics is just something like a reintroduction. It doesn't have much meaning to it when I actually look through it, but I do see some kind of story about love that isn't really obvious. It's more like reintroducing the girls as 6 members to what I see as the intention. That's all. 8 out of 10. Hopefully they will bring something new other than this. With that, we will move on to the last group, aespa. Debuted on 17th of November 2020, which is just a few days ago under SM Entertainment. The group name is a combination of AE composed of an English initial of an avatar and experience, plus the English word expect meaning 2 sides, which symbolize meeting another self and experiencing new world. That's as simple as what it means. Every group have their own meaning, and this is what's the meaning of aespa. Interesting. It's very, very interesting. Why I say it's interesting for this song? The reason for that is because it is a group that is combining virtual idol with actual idol, 2 sides. And before we move on into this song itself, I'd like to highlight a few things that have been going on with this new girl group debut. Why we say about this new girl group debut? Because it's been 6 years. You listen properly, it's been 6 years since SM Entertainment last debuted a new girl group, making their arrival is long overdue. It feels like there are rumors of new girl group has been going on at least for 4 years now, with many picturing a large SNSD-like configuring. Instead, the group is just a tight 4-person act, just like Red Velvet, where they first debuted in summer of 2014. But it is very, very different. aespa avatar gimmicks give each member a digital counterpart, basically the idol, the virtual idol, which expand the performance capacity. The merging of technology and music is very much SM nature by now. It's very, very common. But the teaser of the debut single Black Mamba reminds me more of YG Entertainment's Blackpink, to be honest. It's like Blackpink. But before we move on to Black Mamba, I'll just like to talk about the teasers. The teasers itself, we can see a trend going on in SM, where we have Super M releasing one back in September, and Taemin's was seen at the end of the video holding a phone with a mysterious logo, which is aespa's logo. Then in October, which is last month, we have NCTU recent music video for Make a Wish, which has a out of place scene of a subway cart full with flowers, which is from basically this group as well. And now with this comeback, I have seen the last. We've seen Boa going to make a comeback with her 10th album Better, which is coming out in few more weeks, which is next month. I can say for Boa during her 20th anniversary, which is the 2020 Boa video, there is a little bit of an AI avatar in there, which is a hint to this as well. So with that, we have seen a lot of things going on with this, where SM actually described this visual everything like a universe, like how we have a Marvel Cinematic Universe or DC Comic Extended Universe. Those are superheroes. why not K-pop having this kind of thing as well? This is where we have this, where the ideas come from for SM. Interesting. So interesting that I just give. It's been so long since SM tried to do this kind of thing, and this is the result. We will see how it goes. But on the other side, netizen, or should I say K-netizen and the international, are growing more suspicious of the teasers of the MV for aespa, that is. Why? Because the SM Entertainment Creative Director's Pinterest account was actually reviewed, and there are so many pictures that was actually saved in there are pretty much highlighted in the list of whatever we have seen in the teaser. And to support this kind of suspicious more, we can see Taemin's route of comeback was actually designed in a similar way. Even the word, the logo, everything can be found in there. I know it is easier to get inspiration by doing this, but sometimes making it so obvious is really weird. Why doing this so is what I actually think. Although this is going on, aespa Black Mamba MV has become the fastest debut music video to reach 10 million views. You heard me right. This rookie girl group had already beat TXT record as the fastest to reach, which took them just about 9 hours since release to reach the amount of view, which is really good. While for TXT, if I remember correctly, it's about 13 hours to be accurate. Yeah, 13 hours. So with that, they have a few achievements already regarding to this. For their debut song Black Mamba for aespa, the description is something really animational. It's like a superhero action cartoon, to be simple words. If I need to put it, it should be said as a powerful dance song with a signature sing sound, a strong bass, and a catchy hook. The song itself can be said like a chanting of a spell, and I really agree with that word of chanting of a spell. Why? The MV itself have an aspect like Harry Potter, especially one of the point where there is something like a snake spell. Oh my goodness gracious. And to move on into the lyrics, it introduced the unique world of aespa in a storyline in which Black Mamba stands for the villain, threatening the world and blocking the connection between aespa members and their AE avatars. The MV complements the whole concept too well. I do not need to say more, I'll just say it is done too well. The lyrics has explained the meaning of the song, what it is about. The MV has shown us like an opening to an action animation, and their performance in the MV, oh my goodness gracious. Since I'm so impressed on how much thought and effort were put into the shooting and the editing of the MV, well, I can say I'm so impressed that even the edit of the ice transition, oh, I love that so much. I think that the track has just enough character to establish aespa as their own force with their debut. That's as much I can admit for this. Most of that is down to their vocal, which carry the kind of confident power that always been SM's signature for their artists. Take that away, Black Mamba sounds typically of this K-pop generation actually, to be honest. So without those vocals, actually this is very normal, which is why I am also impressed. I wish that aespa had opted for a more unique plate. for a more unique palette, but at least they pull off this style well. With a much more color to it, it will be nicer, it will be much more attractive. But well, like I said in the beginning of this podcast, beggars can't choose. We'll go with that. Alright, to move on more, Black Mamba first verse feels most familiar to all tracks element, down to the trap beat underlying much of the instrumental. While I do say I prefer a bigger chorus instead of a glorified beat drop, the thundering drum hits hard and the hook pairs so well with the exciting vocal performance. Yet, the song's most electrifying moment is actually coming during the bridge, where we are treated to the kind of sky-high classic SM vocal. However, the bass could be overwhelming when you're listening with earphone and headset, especially on the go, which is very bad. Songs that are actually created by producers sometimes do not take consideration to those who are listening. They just think it is good enough, they release it. Because for myself personally, on the go I used to listen to it on a headset or earphone, and the bass is just too much, and this is without saying that I'm listening without putting up any bass enhancement. That's how bad it is. And I do say, for this group, there are rumors that they will add in more members like how they did for Red Velvet. And so far I heard that there will be 3 more members included. And I'm not surprised at all, because as many of you know, aespa is currently have 4 members, and some insiders has already said they will add in 3 more. And this will possibly happen because of the end teaser from the music video, where a new avatar was actually born. That's how I see it. Overall, this song I'll give rating 9 out of 10, which is very high. Why so I give this rating is because the only downfall for this song is actually the bass. Other than that, it is a good enough song as overall. So with that, we have aespa as our weekly rating song number 1, that is, followed by STAYC, then a draw between MOMOLAND, Outlaw Musician as well as CL's 5-star. Lastly, we have Natty, which is on a higher rating as well, 7.5, which is so much better compared to last week's Mamamoo. I'm very sorry to say this, but Mamamoo is so disappointing when I discussed about it last week. So with that, we shall take a short break by listening to aespa's song to give you guys a glimpse on what it is all about if you haven't listened to it. Let's go!
I'm addicted, 끊임없이 말을 걸어주는 나의 aespa. 이런 교감, 너의 존재 날 다른 천으로
Alright, so what you think about this song? Do leave it in the comments of what you think. Not only for this, other songs, do you agree with my discussion or you have some opinions on it? Do let me know. I'm really curious about it as well. With that, let's move on to our weekly hot news and topics with our first, which is Loren Who, and we are talking about Loren, who have been found out to be son of Naver's founder Lee Hae-jin, which have become a hot topic as a singer among netizens. His look is just good enough, he's handsome enough to add in being a rich person. Wow. And recently, he just debuted with a new song called Empty Trash with Fire Exit Record, which is under YG Entertainment's Black Label, which is a supervision by them for his musical contents. Well, what you think? A lot of saying he's handsome, my style, YG style. We will have to figure out his personality, and a lot of it are saying a diamond spoon, if you know what I mean. You hate it, you love it, it's up to you. Try to listen to his songs. Although his song isn't my type of song, but I do say there are some aspects that are really, really special. So give it a chance if you have the time to give it a listen. Moving on Mama 2020, the lineup update. With a recent update, we did discuss on a few groups, so this is the latest update, which we have Mamamoo, TXT, Treasure, GOT7, Monster X, BTS, NCT, Twice, 17, and lastly IZ*ONE. These are the current lineup that had been confirmed to be going on Mama 2020. So if your groups are in here, congrats! If not, just wait for more updates. We still have time, almost a few more weeks, so no worries, there will be more updates coming on. Moving on to our next news, which is a little bit scary and sad at the same time. We are talking about Dal Sobins, who actually involved in a car accident. Who is this? This is actually a member of the former Dal Shabib member Subins, who actually now goes with the name Dal Subins. She actually involved in an accident. This accident itself is a 4-car collision. What the hell? And this happened on the expressway early yesterday afternoon. She was admitted to a hospital for treatment and was confirmed there's no life-threatening injuries. Thank God. Thank God. As of now, the entertainment company had already released that they will actually coordinate her future schedule to give her the top priority to heal up for her health and stability. So, hopefully everything will go well, get some rest, get well. And just for you guys to know, this happened as she was on her way to Seoul to participate in the recording for MBN Miss Back. Further updates may be coming soon as investigation on the cause of accident is still ongoing, while she is awaiting for her test result soon as of currently this recording. So when I have more news for you guys, basically you may already know when this record release. If not, I'll give you guys more updates soon on this. Moving on to basically, I don't think it's a big thing to happen, but a fire criticism is happening on an idol. And criticism is a very heavy word to say in Kpop world. We are talking about Oh My Girl's Irene, who actually faced a lot of it because of her behavior as a host on Music Bank. To be honest, netizens have divided opinions. It's normal to happen because basically on the recent episodes of KBS Music Bank, Oh My Girl's Irene and TXT Sobins appear as hosts to give you guys the situations. And during the interview with Mamamoo, Irene actually exhibit basically behavior of touching TXT Sobin, which some netizens find it a little bit discomfort regarding of how Irene was laughing and leaning into him, which can be found cute sometimes and can be found very discomfort for others because of how Korean culture is. Skinship is not a number one thing to be done in Korean culture. So in other religions as well, there are something like that, but I won't go deep. But for culture of Korea, this is not something that should be done. a lot. So physical contact, they have already did a lot of times already. This is how they host. This is something like showing friendship, brother and sister relationship, because music band is well known for their role playing as hosts. And this role playing is doing it this way. I don't see why not. I can see that yes, a lot of finding discomfort on the laughter and the skinship. And I do say one thing, most of the time these kind of things are doing are roleplay, are acts. You can see a lot of times, not only this on previous hosts as well, they're pretty much on standby and waiting it to do it, because those are the script. And to add in more, doing this kind of thing is actually fun. I don't mind watching this happening, but a lot of people are bothered on this just because it cringe when she laughed. Yes, it's agreeable to cringe sometimes when I laugh, and she laughed too much. Well, yeah, I can't say more. Some people hate that as well. So divided on this, I can't say anything. All I can say is Irene just looked like a perfect target. She has an innocent image, has a light voice, and she acts like an upright leader. She has a lot of fans. Because of her silly image, others don't like her. That's as I can say for Irene to have this kind of thing. But overall, this kind of concept, I don't see nothing wrong with it to be done. Instead, maybe this is who she is. She's acting out a roleplay, but her laughter or the way she acts is how she is. And with this kind of netizen going on, she's going to put up a mask, a wall, which I hate so much when idols actually have this kind of thing. You have an on-off switch as an idol, it's okay. But putting up a wall on the on-off switch to divide into two personality is the worst thing to do. This is just the number one step, or basically the starting line to depression. We are going back into mental health here, because in this podcast, since the beginning, mental health is a major thing to talk about. And with this, I will just say, netizen, understand a little bit. Sometimes you are a human being, and sometimes people just hate who you are as well. So when you take that into consideration, don't you think that you need to tone down a little bit of what you're saying? Although you are behind the screen, you're typing, the keyboard warrior, yeah, understandable. But on the other side, if other people do the same thing to you, don't you feel hurt? It's understandable to do this kind of thing, but at the same time, you need to think, if you are in her shoes, what the hell are you gonna do? She has backing of her company, but for you, if that company strike you down for doing these things, you're doomed. You're pretty much doomed. With that, I have said everything I want regarding to this. Moving on to our last part, which is the recommended variety. And I mentioned it is a drama. This time, we are talking about a drama from 2019 with the title When the Camellia Blooms. This is one of the highest mini-series drama aired in 2019. To be honest with you guys, the series was actually made with so many praise from critics and audience for the productions as well as the actors' performance. It also received favorable reviews for its realistic plot and unique genre combination of romantic comedy and thrill. This is so well done, to be honest with you guys. So, give you guys a bit of a background or synopsis. Basically, it is a story of a single mother moving to a fictional town and opening a bar named Camellia. 6 years later, the main actress actually made a playful actor, or basically a playful main actor who declared his love for her. The main actress in the beginning does not want his love, actually rejected, but due to the persistent wooing of her, well, fell in love. And the main actor's mom actually find out about this and actually strongly opposed, as the main actress is a single mom. Due to that, this kind of thing actually happens. And with the consideration of the main actor's mom on what happens if the past lover of the main actress and the father of the child want to win her back, what happened if that actually occur? But eventually everything falls into place. He and she are together. Meanwhile, as the thrill part of this, we have a killer that is on the loose, that is actually claiming the main actress as the next victim, while the main actor is trying to protect her as his job as a policeman and figuring out who is the killer. And in here, we are talking about the main actor and main actress. Who are they? We have Kong Hyo-ji as well as Kang Han-woo. These are the main actor and main actress of the show. This is such a good show to watch. If I really need to emphasize more, I would say that the song in this drama sounds so good as well. We have Punch in here, we have Heinz in here, we have Soyu, to name a few. Everything fall into place for this drama. If you have a chance, do watch it. It's not long at all, and the comedy is so relatable. You can even understand the culture of Korea within this drama. Although the town is fictional, but the culture is real. You can understand a little bit more on how they goes and what they do. This drama is also a little bit like a starter lesson for you. As much as that I can say to you guys. With that, that's all I'm gonna actually explain and recommend to you guys for this podcast. With this, I shall end today's podcast with a little bit of teaser. This teaser itself is regarding to a member from Begin Again in Korea. This member not talk English. It's a guy and he's very funny. He just released a song which I'm looking forward to. I haven't listened to it. It is pretty much released. I should say he has released song pretty much been hours since this recording, and I haven't listened to it. I'm looking forward to actually listen to it to understand. His song is just too good to be a miss. Alright, so look forward to what I say regarding to his song. With that, like usual, like this video and subscribe to our channel if you're watching from YouTube. Follow us on any of our podcast platform if you're listening from there. And lastly, be excited and challenge yourself, as everyone's timing is different when it comes to dreams. With that, annyeong guys, and see you guys on the next podcast.